So I am back in Colombia, a country that I've lived in for over a year. But this time, I'm in a completely different city that I've never been to before, and one that I think most people often overlook, called Bucaramanga. They call it La Ciudad de los Parques, otherwise known as the City of Parks. And after just a week of being here, I get why. It's calm, it's clean, it's safe, it's easily one of the best quality of life cities that I visited in Colombia so far. And in this video, I'll give you my raw, unfiltered first impressions and whether this might be the best hidden gem in Colombia. So let's get into it. Here's what I'll cover in this video regarding my first impressions of Bucaramanga. So we'll start off with cost of living and where to stay. I'll give you some real examples of where I'm staying. We'll talk safety and walkability so far. We'll talk dating and social life. So far, we'll talk about the overall vibe, how it feels day to day to live here. And then I'll go into my final verdict. Could this potentially be my Colombian home base? So cost of living and where to stay. Now, here's what I'm spending for an Airbnb here. This is a monthly rate. And I've already booked 2 places. So I've been here for a week. I started off with in the Prado area, which is a really nice area. And then after exploring for about a week, I decided Floridablanca is also worth living in. So I booked another place here for about a month, which I'll be in a few weeks from now. Okay, so overall, I think the value here is really, really, really good. All right, I lived in Medellin, Cali, Santa Marta. I think Bucaramanga probably gives me the best value when it comes to cost of living. That includes not just Airbnbs, but food. But for now, let's just stick to the Airbnb. So let me show you where my Airbnb is. All right, so here's where I'm currently staying. I'm staying in the Prado area. This is basically Cabecera and Prado. You also have Nuevo Santa Mayor. This is all really nice area around here. I think this is called Aoria, this area here. And then below you have Santa Mayor, which I'm not a huge fan of, and then Floridablanca, which I am a fan of, all right? So for a 2-bedroom apartment, I'll show you here. This is where I'm staying. It's a 2-bedroom, 2 baths. I'll show you, I'll do some Airbnb B-roll. I'll do some B-roll on this. But you can see here, it's a decent apartment in literally one of the best neighborhoods of the entire city, all right? So it has everything I need, has also a nice balcony and a nice view, which I'll show you through B-roll, but here's the view. So very nice view of the city. And I'm paying $687 for a month rental, all right? That's amazing value. Most places, you're probably spending more than this. Like, keep in mind, again, we're in the best part of the city, which is right around this area here. Anywhere around this part is best part of the city. Or if you live down in Floridablanca, this area here is probably also comparable to being like the best part in the entire metro area. Now, this is Bucaramanga, this is Floridablanca, the 2 different cities, but it's all part of the metro area, all right? So $687 for a 2-bedroom in the best part of the city. I mean, I think it's great value. And then let me show you Floridablanca, where I'm also going to be renting my next place. I'm paying $635 for a full month, right? And here's what that looks like. This is a newer building, more of a high-rise, and I haven't seen this in person yet, but to me, it looks really good. Obviously, it looks new. It's in a great area, Floridablanca, and it just looks more modern and probably has a nicer view as well because it's on the 17th floor. So this area here, Floridablanca and basically Prado, Cabecera, these are the best locations in the entire city. So as I was saying, best places to stay here are Prado. Has a great mix of location, and I'm going to be adding B-roll in the background here, but a great mix of location, everything close to you, like coffee shops, bars, a ton of restaurants, a ton of good food, banks, everything that you need, grocery stores, you name it, even nightlife, like clubs, and anything you need really is going to be walking distance when you're in the Prado and Cabecera area. Now, Cabecera is a little more buzzier, with more music, with more probably bars and clubs and things like that. Even though this isn't a huge nightlife city, but if you want that type of a lifestyle, Cabecera is going to be it. Whereas Prado is more of a chill, little bit outside of that, but still walkable to everything. And then Floridablanca is smaller, but it also has a ton of variety, and it feels even cleaner and even safer, in my opinion. Feels like this is definitely a higher class that lives in this neighborhood. and I've already confirmed this with other people that I've spoken with here. You're actually near a golf course down here. So here's where the club or the golf course is. So it's walking distance to everything in Florida Blanca. So this is more of an exclusive, quieter, more upscale neighborhood, in my opinion. There's still a lot to do here. It's not going to be as busy or as much to do like in this area here when it comes to Prado and Cabecera, but still plenty, in my opinion. And after walking through this neighborhood, I feel like this is where I might even prefer. And that's why I booked an entire rental here as well. All right, now safety and walkability. Guys, this is better than I expected. Now, Bucaramanga is known for being one of the safer, larger cities in Colombia. It's actually the sixth largest with over 1 million population. I think the ones that are ahead of it are you have Medellin, you have Bogota, you have Cali, you have Barranquilla, and you have Cartagena, right? So that puts Bucaramanga at sixth place. So it's still big enough. Like what I look for in a city is at least 1 million, right? To get enough variety, to get enough size. But it's also super safe here. Now, I've walked through Cabecera, Prado. I've walked through every single neighborhood basically around Bucaramanga, including Florida Blanca, and it all felt safe to me. I never felt unsafe during the day or at night. Definitely feels much safer than Cali, and I'd say even safer than Medellin for sure. I also feel like there's a strong middle class vibe here. You don't see much poverty here at all. I've never been asked once, and I've been here for about a week, but so far I've never been asked for money on the streets. I haven't seen really any homelessness. Very, very, maybe one or two. But just the fact that no one's even asked me for money here, I can't say that hasn't been true in Medellin, Cali, or Santa Marta, or any other pueblitos I've been to in Colombia. So for me, like that's a huge plus. It feels like there's a stronger middle class here. And you don't really get as much poverty and people asking you for money out here. And as far as it being walkable, yeah, this is a very walkable city, which I always look for. So basically, if you're living anywhere in this radius around here, this is all super walkable. And it's not that big, but it's big enough. Like if you were to walk all this, might take you a couple hours, right? And that includes this part here. So basically everything down to, let's see, Carrera 27 to 66, right? If you're within this part, right around, I'd say cap it off right here with a Parque La Flora. Very nice park, by the way. I could do some B-roll on that as well. But anywhere within this part, you'll have everything that you need, and you'll have plenty of options, and it feels big enough for me, right? So this is a great place to live, super walkable. There's always people walking around. And then the other walkable part is going to be right around here, Florida Blanca, all over this section here. All right, so those are the two most walkable parts of the city, which I always look for in a city. Now, dating and social life. So I've only been here for a week, right? And I haven't set up any dates yet. I have gotten a lot of numbers. I probably have over 20 numbers in my WhatsApp, but I haven't set any yet because I'm going through, so I'm in sales, I'm in remote sales, and I'm going through offboarding a client, and I'm onboarding onto a new client. So it's kind of happened at the same time where it's a little bit chaotic for me work-wise. So my second week is probably going to be the first time where I'm going to book dates in the city. But in a city with over 1 million people, right, for the entire metro area, which is about half the size of Cali, you'll have plenty of options still, right? This is also a young city. You have a lot of universities in Bucaramanga. And there's very few foreigners here, which obviously gives you more of an edge. And this isn't a wild nightlife scene. But I think it's enough for grown men. When I say grown men, I mean if you're in your 30s, your 40s, or your 50s, like you're probably not going to be going out every night, right? Maybe once or twice a night, a week, you might go out at night. But there are locations here where there is a nightlife scene. There are certain streets where you get the bars, the clubs, the music, the dancing, right? But it's not as much as Cali or Medellin, not even close, all right? So if you're someone who's in your 20s and nightlife, you want to go out every single night, right? It might not be the city for you. If you're someone who is more 30s, 40s, 50s, you're chilled and relaxed, and you're not super into nightlife, but you still want the option to, like, on a Friday or Saturday night, then this might be the city for you. So I'm already confident. If you're a single guy, Bucaramanga is a big enough city where you have plenty of options when it comes to dating life. And obviously you're in Colombia, so the women here are beautiful. I can already see this is going to be a good experience when it comes to dating if you're a single guy. Now, what is the overall vibe of the city? So this is more chill and relaxed. As I mentioned, it's not really big on nightlife, where in Cali, you can go to a salsa club any night of the week, basically, right? Whereas Bucaramanga, you don't really have as much as that. This is definitely more chill and relaxed. It's a more working city where people they go to bed early, they wake up early, right? And they get stuff done. Now, this is a city of parks. There's a lot of greenery. There's a lot of nature, and it's a good place to jog as well. Now, the good thing is if you are a jogger like me, I like to run as well. There are good jogging and hiking communities here. I'm already part of a couple WhatsApp groups. So if you're someone who likes to walk, jog, hike, you'll have plenty of options for that, which I think is really cool. As far as the weather here is on point. It's perfect. It's about mid 70s. At night, it gets a little bit cool, maybe high 60s to low 70s. But for me, this is perfect year-round weather that you really can't beat anywhere else. There's really no need for heating at all. And there's not much need for AC unless it might get into the 80s. But I work from home full time and I haven't needed to use the AC. So for me, this is ideal weather where literally you can sleep good at night, you can work during the day, not need AC, not need any heating for the entire year. And as I mentioned, there is some nightlife, but there's not a lot. It's not really noisy. People aren't all up all night playing music. There's still plenty of action in nightlife for, like I said, a guy who's in their 30s, 40s, or 50s. If you're in your 20s, you'll probably prefer Cali, Bogota, Medellin, assuming you want to party every night. But once you get past that phase, then this is going to be more chill and relaxed, kind of like an Asunción, Paraguay. It's probably like the Asunción of Colombia, in my opinion. That could be a good way to put it. And the food here is awesome. All right, there's a ton of restaurants here. There's a lot of places to eat. There's a lot of good variety. I'll put out some B-roll of what I've had here. But some of the best empanadas I've had have been here. There's also really good crepes, right? If you like the local type of food. But then you also have good international food here. I've had Italian. I've had seafood here. All of it has been really good so far. So obviously when you're living in the city, for me at least, enjoying the food culture is really good. And out of every city I've been to, I'd say this is probably one of the better cities when it comes to food in Colombia. Okay, so final verdict. Could this be my home base in Colombia? Now, it's only been a week, so it's still early. But from my experience living in Colombia for over a year and all the other places that I've been to and lived in, this is definitely a city that I can call home for a few months out of the year and potentially might be the best city for me to live in Colombia. All right, now as I mentioned, it's only been a week. So after 2 to 3 months, I'll know for sure, but we're definitely off to a good start. I'd say right now, I consider Cali, Colombia, my favorite city in Colombia. But Cali, Colombia is a little bit bigger, it's a little bit noisier, it's a little less safe, in my opinion. There is a much better nightlife scene, dance scene. If you like to dance salsa and go out at night, that Cali might be a better option for you. But just from what I've experienced here, and basically everything that I've covered in this video, I think Bucaramanga might be my favorite city in Colombia, and definitely a place I could call home for a few months out of the year. So that's it for today's video, guys. Hope it was helpful. Just to recap everything, it's only been a week, but so far, so good. And unfortunately, I'm in the middle of offboarding with a new client and onboarding to a new one, so it's been a little bit hectic within my first week. Luckily, I've still found some time to walk all over the city, to experience it a bit. And like I said, so far, so good. Definitely see myself being here for at least 2 to 3 months at this time, right? This year. And we'll see at the end of my experience, I'll probably do another video to give it an overall take of what it was like, and finally make the decision if this is going to be my second city outside of Asunción, Paraguay, or is it still Cali at the moment for my favorite second city to live. And if you want to compare Bucaramanga to other cities in Colombia, such as Medellin or Cali or even Santa Marta, then be sure to check out my other videos I did on those cities so that you can decide whether or not this might be one of the first places you check out. And also, as I mentioned, with the chill and relaxed vibe of this city, which is probably the most chill and relaxed city I've been to in Colombia, reminds me a lot of Asunción, Paraguay. So be sure to check out that video to understand what I mean when I say that. And if you're someone who's interested in moving to Latin America or visiting different countries and cities, then definitely be sure to subscribe, because on here, I share everything I've learned on leaving the West and building an ideal life in Latin America. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, don't just give it a like, but subscribe and check out future videos. Thanks so much.